The programming, I'm Jay Singram.
I'm Captain America.
And along with me is Bill Grundler.
Wolverine.
And this is our Analyzing the Programming series live on YouTube. What's up, everybody? As we are getting set to tackle the team quarterfinals. They just finished, I believe, Sunday. God, there's a lot of moving and shaking going on because I guess all the individuals are getting their invites and they're accepting, and then the leaderboard's populating on the semifinal side. So it's like what is it? It's like free agency in the NFL or Major League Baseball. It's pretty sweet. Good morning to Corey, Bruce, and the Corys. Stefan, what's up? Hello, everyone. Welcome.
Yeah.
Morning, guys.
Hey, I was gonna say, how'd you throw the old logo in there? That was kind of cool.
Oh, did you like that?
I was like, what?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we've been saying we're going to do it for a freaking long time now. It's like, you know what? I've got a new laptop. I've got my computer. I'll mix and match some things together on the old iMovie. So
DJ Chase over there. DJ Chase on the turntables.
Well, you know, as we get more popular and now that we can monetize our YouTube channel, I figured I'd step up the game a little bit.
Hey, you know what? Take that first nickel and get like a good, I don't know, like you probably buy an app for like 5 cents to get some cool like other little moving logo pieces.
I think I'm gonna say take that nickel, just put it in your pocket. You earn that.
Well, hey, you can take the next one for the next month. You put that one in your pocket. There you go. Yeah.
Thank you guys for joining the show. Before we get started, I want to thank our partners of the show first and foremost, Bubs Naturals. Thank you for saving my ass at 4:15 in the morning, dude. I was dragging. I had a hard training day yesterday, and I felt every second of it this morning. But when I get to go downstairs and it's dark and it's quiet, and just the sound of coffee going into my mug automatically puts me in a good mood. But then seeing the MCT oil powder drop in there, my collagen protein, blend that up in my hand blender, take a couple apple cider vinegar gummies to go on the road. Boom. Morning fixed. If you guys want to fix your morning, go to bubsnaturals.com. Use the code GETWIT20 for 20% off. And I got my new hand grips. Finally, they finally came in because I wore my Element 26 grips out.
I think it's crazy that you wore them out like that. What the heck, man?
I don't know. You know,
I mean, this is what I hear. Man, you know, I'm not training like I used to. Don't have the volume. And you wore them through?
Well, because I had to get my shit together. I got Masters quarterfinals coming up in 2 weeks, so I started to actually spend more time on the pull-up rig. And not to mention, I'm 6'2", 215. So, I'm putting those grips to this maximum tensile strength.
Clydesdale testing. Testing.
And they held up nice. And so I got some new ones. I'm pumped about that. Dude, I got to send you this workout I did yesterday. It was, I think you'll like this. It's one set every 3 minutes for 10 sets. 6 hang power snatch at 135 and 95.
Okay.
8 bar facing burpees. 6 power cleans. Just a full send. So 10 sets. But man, my thumbs on those hang power snatches trying to cycle that damn bar. I haven't ripped my hands in a long time, but I freaking almost did doing hang power snatches.
Dude.
Yes, but the thumb tape held up. That's the point, right?
That's what it's all about right there.
Yes, and I'm going to need my grips later today when I do some bar muscle up work. So thank you to Element 26 for hooking me up there. I can't wait to put it all to the test when I get to test myself here in 2 weeks. And as I do that, we want to make sure it's official.
I still want to know what your dang number is. Like, I know that you're going to video your workouts. Cool. And it was cool that you can put like your after workout selfie up there off the waterproof app, which is sick, and you're good at that.
Yeah.
But you got to use their Bionic, dude. I want to see what your number is. You got to use their AI technology, see how you move, do their I think it's like 7 tests or 10 tests, something like that. They check you out, they see how you move, what side you move on, and then they set up a plan for you for the gutter ball. Jeez, oh man.
Dude, I kind of went off the rails last night on Savan's podcast. I got a little too free with some of my own past misgivings.
It's all right, man. We'll get to those things. But anyway, while you're trying to tone your voice down and your mental state down, at least get your mobility down. Go to a Wattproof app, get their Bionics, $19.99 a month. And it is the thing out there if you want to be able to move better. And if you're moving better, you're going to have less chance of getting injured. You are going to be able to perform better, and you're going to be able to lift more, and you'll be able to kick ass in all of the quarterfinals or all the online qualifiers that you need to do to get to the big show. So make sure you guys do that. Wattproof app, get Bionic, do it.
Oh man. So I'm not gonna go through.
Yeah, you are. Don't lie,
Everybody.
dude. You
No,
are
dude,
gonna do it.
I am gonna sound like the most deplorable. Well, I am a pretty. I don't want all my secrets out, Bill.
Right,
But,
right.
okay, here's the story. This is a terrible story. Brace yourselves for those of you guys that are driving with your sibling or your kids in the car, like we had.
Earmuffs.
Earmuffs to the children. All right. So in college, like any other group of college young men that are on a sports team, we're like, hey, for fun, while we're obviously drinking, I'm pretty sure we're playing Edward 40 hands, which is where you duct tape
Yep.
40s to your hands, and then you have to figure out how to navigate drinking and peeing at the same time, that's when you find a real bro or a brodette. Anyways, like, hey, let's do something fun. Let's make up our own like sexual move.
Bunch of dudes in a car. That great, perfect timing.
Yeah, it's like,
Perfect
all right,
timing.
create your own. And so, yeah, this is about to get NC-17, and so this is when like I was on the age where like the shocker was all the it's like, oh, 69, and like that was all funny, and so I created this. I've never done this. Let me preface this first. I have never done this.
Is this where is this where the Hey Ashley Instagram comes up? Hey Ashley.
Yeah. Yeah. So like if thankfully my wife doesn't give a shit about this podcast, so so here it is. Oh my God, I can't believe I'm saying this. So you have your partner on all fours on the bed, and then you grab them like a bowling ball. Like a bowling ball.
No, I get you.
Okay. So and then you lift them up and you throw them off the side of the bed.
That's a small ass partner, dude.
And I call it the gutter ball because like a gutter ball, you throw it.
Oh no, I get. I'm picking up what you're putting down. Like I'm getting it.
Well, literally, right? You pick them up and you. So there it is.
God, I won't lie, but same thing. We just call it a 6-pack.
The problem is I can just
There you go.
Oh,
dude. Okay, thank you guys all for coming. That's our show for this week. See you guys on the next one.
Don't forget to hit that like button.
That right there was definitely worth 5 cents. That was worth our 5 cents right there.
Yes. Jeez, hopefully we don't lose our monetization because of that awful story. Oh my God. Where is this? We're supposed to talk about programming. Okay, before we get there, I have to air some dirty laundry, more than what I just spoke into existence. I told you I was having a weird morning because I was on social media. And, Jesus.
I know.
Oh, this is right before Easter. This is downhill in a hurry. All right. So I was having some misgivings. I'm not a big fan of social media when it comes to people in general. I like to connect with people. I like to, see what my friends are doing, reach out to some people that I don't get to see on a daily basis. The thing that like social media was designed. Well, actually, social media wasn't really designed to do that anyways. We look about this founding of Facebook was just like hot or not, which
right.
for college students. So it didn't have the best founding to begin with, but I was just online today and I was just getting sick of all the negativity in the CrossFit space. And it's really bothering this morning. And one thing that was bothering me the other day, and this is someone brought up, and if you're watching, thank you for texting this to me, even though this isn't going to go the way you wanted it to go. And it was someone that asked me about a show idea. And this is some of the Hiller fallout, which keeping people accountable should always be in the forefront. Making sure we're doing things the right way, following the rules should always be a priority. I get that. But there is too far to one side to where people will take that and then go to an extreme, right? And so this person messages me It says, I watched the Mayhem Event 2 video and notices Rich's footwork on the burpees. I went frame by frame and saw the foot furthest from the line would lift. Then a couple of frames later, both feet would be in line with each other with the other foot. And they wanted to do like this podcast is like that all these people are doing all this bad work. And I was like, the fact that you have to go frame by frame, like, that's not the fucking point. Like, it just freaking bothers. Like, this is what's happening, right? This is the escalation. Is like, okay, people are out there calling out people for bad reps, which is good. You should. Like, if you're a popular athlete, you shouldn't do bad reps to begin with, and you shouldn't get away with it. But now people are combing through these videos. It's like scrubbing someone's Twitter and looking at something that they tweeted 15 fucking years ago and then bringing it up as if like they're the same person or whatever. Right. And so if you're saying like, I had to go like 10th of a thousandth of a second frame by frame to find out if you actually did a 2-foot takeoff, like, come on, that's too much. Like, it's ridiculous. It's fucking sports. That's why there's a judge there. And this wave of attacking these people and these athletes and these teams because they're just competing and they have a judge there. It's like, okay, so like, do you get the same anger at when you watch baseball of balls and strikes, or holding or not holding in the NFL, or travel or carry in NBA? Like, is this fun for you?
Of course it is, dude. Okay, so check it out. This is no different. This is no different than people complaining about like where the toes in on the Super Bowl catch, where was this strike here? Was it a strike? Was it not a strike? Everybody, every fan is an armchair judge, every single one. And so they will go out and they'll say what they need to say. The thing that we have guys like Hiller out there, like I personally,
I don't mind.
I think that they're fine. Like do your thing, because it's not them that these judges or that these athletes need to play to. They need to play to the judge that's in their room and the judges that are at CrossFit. Because here's what's going to happen. You will have, and I hope CrossFit doesn't do this. I hope that they're able to hold their ground, Dave and everybody else at the crew there, is you will have people that will say,
Eubanks,
these athletes didn't pass because we looked at their video and it wasn't good enough. And they need to be able to say, we're the judge. We call it, not because, well, they showed capacity or whatever. It's our opinion is that they made it. Because that's the exact same thing that happens in every single competition. When you have live competition, you have a judge on the floor that needs to make their judgment. Whether I'm at another angle and I can see it better and I see that, I mean, dude, how many times have we been to competitions?
Yes.
Where we from our broadcasting booth will see reps that are like, those are not remotely close to being okay.
I've said on our broadcast.
The fact is that they're being allowed. That's the judgment in the time. That's how it goes. So to say you're going to go back frame by frame, like cool, like fine. And if you find something that's a bad rep, hey man, good job. But if you talk about CrossFit and you want to look at, you go back to the L1 of CrossFit, the old school L1, when they talk about what is more important, speed or quality of the movement, and the answer is yes. It's not perfect quality of movement because then you're moving too slow. It's not all blown out speed so that your movement is shit. It's somewhere down in the middle. So are you going to have some movements that are right on the line and maybe above the line a little bit? Of course you are. And as an athlete, I will tell you that when I have a judge, I will test that judge to see where I can go. We have talked about this many, many times. So for all those people out there that want to call this out, I mean, cool, man, do your thing. Do your thing. But it's going to be the judge's call. It's not your call. You're not the judge. You're not the judge.
Or if you want to be the judge,
get out there and go judge. Yeah.
Go fucking do it.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about Andrew. Like, what he's doing is he's bringing attention to a bigger problem. But what's happening is people are feeling empowered to do this frame by frame witch hunt And then to label an athlete a cheater, I think is bullshit. 100% bullshit, because it'd be different if the judge is like, get lower, and they're like, no.
Yeah.
They're competing.
Totally.
I bet you are no fun to watch sports with, or you believe in communism or a utopian society because everyone's supposed to be fucking perfect.
Yeah, it's not.
Now, if you're blatantly cheating and you're doing things wrong and no one's calling you out, then call them out on it. But if you have to come up to me and just be like, hey, I slowed things down to 1/1000th speed and saw the barbell or the foot, or he didn't extend his hips to here, like, fucking calm the fuck down. And it was bothering me because, like, now this shit's everywhere. Just
I think I personally, I think it's funny. I think like I don't even get pissed off about it. You get all crazy. It's, that makes me laugh, so it's fine. Well, as you sit on your throne of rowers, on your soapbox of rowers, and get on your little rant stage.
Hold people accountable, be accountable for yourself. But if you're gonna come up to me and tell me you should do this entire like movement of show on Mayhem's video that you slow down frame by frame, I was like, get out of here.
All right, so we are two down-to-earth dudes that are totally open. If we say, hey, if you have an idea for a show, bring it on. So of course you're going to get stuff like that. Of course you're going to get people that are not trying to be, they're not trying to be Heller. They're not trying to be him, but people are doing that. People are talking about it. People are saying whatever. That's what people do in the sport. Like, you hear about it all the time. Like, I don't have a football team that I watch specifically, but I'll watch it every once in a while. I don't have a basketball team that's like my ride or die team, but I watch them. But I will hear fans talk about that. Oh, and this play, and they should have done this, and they should have done that, and they didn't. This was bad, and this was bad. That's what people do. They want to talk. They want to talk it out. But it's like, let them go. Dude, for me, if someone was to send that to me, I would have been like, oh, that's a cool idea. I bet you don't do anything else in your world, do you? You just sit there and watch it. Have fun, man. Have fun.
Person. I'm not trying to do that. But it's this snowball effect that is getting way out of hand. If you are deliberate trying to gain an advantage by doing something like this, then that needs to stop. But if you're just sitting out here doing the best you can in a competition, and someone's going to sit back in their own time for 2 hours to watch a 15-minute video and dissect every second of that.
Hey,
think about that,
dude.
Like, do it. Yeah, go ahead. Fine.
Exactly. That's what that right there is what I'm saying. Like, if somebody wants to go and do that, go do your thing, man. Whatever you want to do.
And then they just like they just make it this huge, way blown out of proportion thing.
I am much more of a stoic than you are. Wow, it's so funny.
Oh, dude,
like, to me,
completely.
To me, like, you're like, this person is doing it, and I'm just like,
okay. Here's the thing. It's not the one person. That's the thing. It's not right. It's not. It's not just the one person. I'm telling you, like, that is a example of this crap that is just like infesting the competition season so far.
Yeah, well, I think that I will say this.
That needs to back off.
I will say this. I think that CrossFit has shot themselves in the foot a handful of times in some big spots, which has opened the door for a lot of people to complain.
That's fair.
And the more people you have complaining, that kind of brings people in to complain, not just about things that need to be complained about, like get your leaderboard set up when you're going to have them set up and that kind of stuff. But other than that, like if people feel that they can say whatever, I mean, they can say whatever.
People can say whatever they want.
It's not going to change what the umpires do on the baseball field. It's not going to change the Super Bowl. It's not going to change. It's not going to change any of it. So you guys, if that's what you want to do, cool. But it's not going to do anything. So if you have a direction to give it to someone, okay, then give a direction. But nobody is going to ever judge a competition frame by frame. So if you have to go frame by frame, I'm sorry, man. Like you're hoping, you're just trying to have a conversation with someone. So I mean, if that's all you got going on for the day, Hopefully it's like raining or somewhere where you are and you have nothing to do but sit and go frame by frame. But geez, oh man, really? Frame by frame? Boring.
And that's one example of 100 examples. But I'm just saying, it's like, just there's a certain line where it's acceptable. And you're right, because the misgivings of CrossFit and what they've done over the last few months is feeding this.
Yeah.
Right? People are tired of the bullshit.
Hey, put up Michael's comment real fast.
The judging one?
Yeah.
From a judging perspective, does the rep need to be clearly good to be counted or clearly bad to be considered a no rep? Does the benefit of the doubt go to the athlete or not? That's a good question.
It is a good question. Here's what my comment would be on this. If you are doing an online competition and it's all based on video, then you need to make sure that whoever is on the outside of that video can see that you're doing a good rep. If you are an in-person competition, then the benefit would go to the athlete as long as the judge, like if someone doesn't, let's say an air squat, if you don't go down low enough, in my mind, what I would say is they have one shot. Go lower on the next one. If they don't go lower, then it's a no rep. Not a missing. The head judge has to come over and say, will you tell them to go down? That's not benefit of the doubt. That's like you're just not judging at that point. You're not keeping them within the line. But I don't think you need to go 6 inches below parallel to say that it's a good rep. In fact, if you do that, then you're not racing anymore.
Yeah.
So that's what I think. If you are online judging, you should be doing it to where if someone else was to be outside, and if you have a judge that's watching you, man, they need to be thinking about that too. Like, yeah, you got to go fast, but you got to know that someone else is going to be, especially if you're going to be one of the higher end athletes, because you're going to have the world watching it. That's all.
Right. I get that. And I think to Wad Zombie's point is that there's been such inexcusable inconsistency from CrossFit's standpoint of maintaining standards and penalties and things like that, is that this is the escalation, right? That is creating this.
Yep.
And now it's getting more magnified every time there is a mistake. Now it's instead of, I think we said this during the levels conversations, like now that one thing you do that annoys me, the way you like tink your spoon on the bowl. This is an example when my wife was pregnant and I was eating cereal, right? All of the shit we've been dealing with for the last 2 years. Now the smallest thing has these massive blowups.
Yeah.
And I get that. And we said this with judging itself is like, I don't care what my judge is doing. I care what your judge is doing. I want to make sure that your judge is holding you to the same standard my judge is. I don't have a problem with my judge. I will follow my judge, but I fully expect your judge to be doing the same thing. And the problem is that CrossFit isn't doing that, which is creating this thing, which is creating this huge, massive problem between athletes and people who want to shit on them all together. And I think maybe that's what it comes down to, is just fixing the initial problem to begin with. I don't know.
Well, I think you're always going to have people that'll be out there bitching. It doesn't matter. It's sports. You always will. And so that's why that just has to kind of be the din that's out there. I mean, Hiller's doing his thing. That's so funny.
What is
the gutter ball, dude?
Oh. Oh dear.
That's funny.
I get
That's funny.
But yeah, if you guys want to come in the chat and I'll comment on Instagram and like do the whole bat thing, like then go to CrossFit and be a part of the solution. Don't just tell them what they're doing wrong. You know, Bill and I do that. Okay, so we'll switch to the programming stuff here, but like we do that with the programming. If there's something we don't like, we express what we don't like, we express why, and we express a solution to doing that. We've also expressed our willingness to be a part of this. And I have, you know, before we get into the program, is like I have offered to help program for team stuff every year since 2017. I have offered those services.
I remember when you were doing it for the first time, getting ready. Dude, I'm about to send this email.
Not to say Dave Cash or an email.
Should I send it?
It's the scariest
I'm going to hit return. Are you ready? I'm going to do it. You ready? Oh my God, dude, I did it. It's out.
I did though. Like I nutted up And I was like, hey, listen. And what it came from is like reading Dave Castro's book, and you look at all the programming around in the space, and it's all so individual focused. And I get it. Like that's the big shiny prize. And what I started to see from the outside is like everybody wanted to program for the games individually, and they felt like they had to program for the teams. That's what it turned into. And I was like, I want to program for teams. I want to be a part of this. I want to help. Like I've offered those services. We've all done the same thing, right? So we're not sitting back and be like, hey, you should have done it this way, jackasses. We're like, hey, this probably didn't work out like you thought. Here's a better way to do it. Also, we are available. We are willing and like willing participants to help steer the ship. So, all right. Sorry. Let's get into the programming. Before we get into this, I want to say it's really, 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 really easy to sit back in our position and critique and modify.
Totally.
When we're given a floor plan, a workout, it's really easy for you and me to be like, change this, like especially after the fact. So when we give these critiques, we're doing the easy part, not the hard part. Picking these up
right. We're coming. Yeah. Whenever you armchair quarterback it, you have the chance to sit back and do all this. When you're in the middle of building the stuff, that's when a lot of times you may not see certain elements that maybe you can tweak just because you start to feel a certain way. That's why I think it's really interesting looking at what we program before we see it, and then we come back and we look at it here because we have an idea of like, oh, there should be these things and there should be those things. So hopefully you guys get to see what we came up with, and then how we look at these things, so you can kind of look at both of them and kind of where our brains are when we're analyzing.
All right, so let's go through this. Let's go through event number 1. Let me see if I can make this bigger. Oh, but it puts our faces in there. Can I move our faces? Whoa, hey,
whoa. There's a lot of nose in that picture right there.
All right, so here's what event number 1 was. It was mixed gender pair work in a you go, I go format. And it was very similar, a little cross between what you had, because you had dumbbell walking lunges with handstand push-ups and wall walks. I had mixed dumbbell work with a pair doing handstand walks. So it's pretty close between the two. I think looking at this, right, you have dumbbell work, handstand walk. It was only 75 feet. I don't know. Talking to Rich about this, actually, we had him on the show for the Games podcast. This was very under-programmed.
Dude, this is virtually an individual open workout.
And so the way it works is male one's doing dumbbell squats while the female athlete is doing handstand walks, and then they switch, and then they tag in their partner. So you're going to do 30 dumbbell squats and a 75-foot handstand walk, and then you get to rest for like 90 seconds. Or 60 seconds, 60 to 90 seconds. And then you do dumbbell lunges and a handstand walk, and then you get to rest again. And then 30 pistols and a handstand walk. And in an event that took, where is it? I have
for those guys, it took them like 8 minutes. They were under 10 minutes.
8 minutes.
Yeah.
So this event.
Now, granted, that was the
10 minutes.
Yeah, 8 to 10 minutes. Those are your top 50 times. Okay, right. Of everybody.
Right.
That being said, I think that, okay, so let's go back when we always talk about when we're analyzing, it's like, what's the point of the programming for this particular event? We need to find the right people to get to semifinals.
Okay. So
this event did not do that. I mean, the right people up at the top, they went super, super fast.
Yeah,
but
that's a good point.
The way that it was set up, it virtually was a wasted. I mean, you're right. Way, way under program. Even though there were a lot of teams that had issues with it. If you look down at the very end, there were a lot of teams that couldn't do it. But
sure,
that's not. I don't think that proved it. There were ways to make the pieces matter. Like if you're going to have them do it, make it matter. Because, like you said, I mean, you do your squats, you do your handstand walks, and then you wait.
Yeah.
And that's not a lot of time.
No.
I mean, not for all of them to do everything, under 10 minutes. Like, come on.
Yeah.
So
No, it's
what got tested?
and if you look at 8 to 10 minutes, that's not the whole group. Split that in half.
Yeah.
Your workout was 4 to 5 minutes, and you got to get 2 60 to 90-second breaks within that. I think it's a massively under-programmed event, especially on the team. I think, so what would I was trying to think of easier ways, simple ways to make it more challenging.
Okay. I think that what you do is, and I saw the interview you had with Rich, and making it 100 feet on the handstand walks. I mean, that would definitely make it to where it counts. I like the fact that the 25 feet is unbroken, so that kind of ups the ante for a lot of the open people getting into.
Totally agree.
Into the quarterfinals, yeah. But what you could have done, I think, is increased everything as you go through the round. So if you're going to start with 30 and 3 at the beginning, then bump everything up to where you're doing like make it 4 on the handstand walks. And then in the last one, so it's 30 and 3, then 40 and 4, and then 50 and 5. To where now all of a sudden, I mean, you're getting in the breaks, but you're doing 50 pistols and 5 handstand walks instead of 30 and 3.
Yeah.
I mean, just to give some sort of an increase to it,
What I did is I played off more on the individual one.
Okay.
And this doesn't necessarily make it that much harder, but it does. So all the handstand walks, I had it at 100 feet, so down and back twice. Okay. And you paired it with your teammate that lunged down and back twice with the dumbbells. The round 1 lunge was in the farmer carry position. The round 2 lunge was in the front rack position. And the round 3 lunge was in the overhead position.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's simple. You get rid of these single leg squats. You get, you have the dumbbell rack already in there, right? So the middle part doesn't even change except that you add a handstand walk.
Right.
And
I like that too.
And at the end, so then it's very similar to what the individuals did, yet slightly different. It has the same stimulus. And at the end, right, that is where that's where it's getting increasingly more difficult, right? The farmer carry gets you tired, messes with your grip. It's 100 feet down and back. The handstand walk is a little bit harder, but you do get the rest.
Yeah.
In the front rack lunge, more taxing on the shoulders. Same long handstand walk. And then the overhead, that's the one that broke a lot of the athletes off on the individual. Totally. And then there's a strategy of who you put where. I'm a better handstand walker, so I should probably handstand walk last.
Yep.
Because you're not going to be able to do that after you overhead lunge 100 feet with dumbbells over your head. So the dumbbell portion gets increasingly difficult. And because of that, the handstand walks get more difficult.
So what are the numbers that you had on that?
It's 100-foot lunge and walk for both pairs.
For all three types. Okay, so the different the number and the distance stays the same.
Yes.
Okay.
The difficulty of the movement is the thing that increases.
Okay.
And the fatigue level on the handstand walks. Yes, Patrick, you did miss. It's light ramp.
Yeah. See, so to me, that's an easy fix to show increase in difficulty, and it tests what you're trying to test. It tests what you're trying to test.
And it simplifies on the judging perspective. I just got to watch people lunge.
Right.
Just don't shuffle step and make sure your knee touches the ground.
Yeah.
I don't have to watch your hip extension on a squat. Now, there shouldn't be an issue on the squats. There's an issue on the pistols. We've been very clear that pistols do not need to be in online competition. Just don't put them in there anymore. And what's the point of putting 30 in there? Seriously. We went on the complete other side of the spectrum. You made us do 180 of these bitches last year, and now we're only doing 30. That's just a waste. Just a waste. But yeah, okay. So there's an example of how to make 2 better. So what event was format wise? It was a mixed pair. You go, I go format. So unlike a relay is a one-off, right? Yep. You go, I'm done. A you go, I go is when we switch pairs and we take breaks and we come back in. All right. Let's look at quarterfinal number 2. This is a synchronized line-facing burpees or burpees over the line or line-facing burpees over the line if you want to cover all semantic bases. And what they decided to make difficult here was the standards of which they displayed on the video versus the standards of the line-facing burpees, what they had in the write-up, and then the fact that they had people screwing this up in the demo video by stepping on the line. I have no problem with this workout. You can say it's boring and all this other stuff. The only thing I think they should have changed here is just making burpees over a bar. Not this line burpee stuff. Just synchronized bar facing burpees. Boom. That's the only fix I have here. The line face thing was just an unnecessary mess.
Yeah, because it's hard to judge where you're going. And I'm not meaning as the judge, but as the athlete. Because at least if the bar is there, you're going to smack your face on it if you're close to it. So where are you going to be?
Self-governing piece of equipment.
Totally. Where the lines are, all that kind of stuff. I mean, I personally, if you're not going to have them jump over anything real, then have them do the 6-inch outreach, whatever, or a line on the wall or something to where they're doing that.
What do we do? I don't know if CrossFit did this too, but it was a distance they jumped, like a mini broad jump. Where they hopped their feet behind a line and then jumped
a 6-foot
over
distance?
a line. No, not 6 foot. I think it was like 4 feet.
That's not really.
I can't
barely jump.
4 feet? I mean, it's not a broad jump. It's not nothing.
That's kind of nothing.
It's more exertion to do that than a bar facing burpee.
True.
I think just less ambiguity. Less
room. How can you have such a simply written event? It's an event. It's not a workout. It's an event. Workout number 2. It's event number 2. Competition, people. Jeez. How can you have such a simple ass event and have it so confusing on all the ways that you're supposed to find out what you're supposed to be able to do?
Yes.
That's a simple fix. Simple fix.
Yes.
We don't know how to do burpees, even if it's over a line. Jeez.
Yeah. That's why I said just put the barbell in there and let's race. Did everybody start on the ground at the same time on the burpee? Yes. Okay. Did they all lay down together before they started the next one? Yes. Done. Not where everybody's face was on the burpee, which you can't see at an angle anyways.
Yeah.
Having to watch everybody's toes if they touch the line or not. Like, guess what? If you put your foot underneath the barbell touching the line, you trip over the damn barbell. Yep. It's a self-governing piece of equipment. Like you said in the last event, do Dave Eubanks a favor.
Seriously.
Do Dave Eubanks and his judging team a favor.
Yeah. I will say this. I think I will say this because I'm going to say this right now. I'm going to say.
Yeah,
I hate that I say that.
Say the shit.
Yes, you are. Boring. Like I get it, but really, I just think that this one. I just think it's 150 burpees.
I mean, I get it.
I would have rather had them do your true 7 minutes of synchro burpee to see where you get.
Oh,
like cut the time in because what was everyone doing? It was like 12 minutes, 11 minutes.
Let's see, time frame about 12. your top 25 to 50 teams. It was all like there was very little separation, but average is about 12.
And it all comes down to the burpees. So why haven't put the shuttle run in there?
Breaks? I don't know.
I mean, that's where I went from the shuttle run and the handstand walk. Because at least there was something else, some other thing. I don't think that this is
the shuttle run in this event.
Totally. That's so. Like, is a just burpee event something that is well enough to be able to qualify people to the semifinals? I got one for you.
I got one for you. Okay. So put the bar in there, self-governing piece of equipment of burpees over the bar. You see this 15, 20, 25, 30?
Yeah.
Just have the same number of shuttle runs and the teams in pairs or singles. Like we said, what we thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be 10-minute AMRAP of shuttle runs.
Yeah.
Just one, a little relay. Just,
Boring.
yeah, boring, but awful, right? It's already boring. Let's get over the fact that it's a boring workout. Let's talk about the test, right? It's team synchro work with burpees, team communication, whatever. I get it. You got to be fit to be successful here, but the shuttle runs were worthless. The most you did is 5, and it was a pair go and then we go, so you get rest. Just make it all 15, 20, 25, 30, 25, like
The
all the way
entire
down.
thing is synchro.
The whole thing is synchro, but on the shuttle runs, then you relay it up as much as you want. Just do 25 reps. Put some team strategy in there. It's like, hey, we're all going to crush 15 burpees. And then, Mike, you're one fast SOB. You take the 30, right? Or we partition it any way you want. Then at least there's less boringness to it. Does that make sense?
Well, I mean, you would have a lot more rest. So with that should, I mean, in theory, make your burpees go faster.
Right.
So, I mean, because you're going to get 3 rounds of rest rather than 1 round of rest if you're doing a relay. Or have it, however it gets set up like this, to me, it just looks like a whole bunch of burpees. It's still, I mean, even with that, it just looks like a whole bunch of burpees. Like if you're going to make it where everyone has to do the line facing burpees, then what you should do the whole thing, then do this. Everybody has to do the entire thing synchronized.
You guys can't see my screen?
Running. Oh, I see your screen.
No? You don't see my screen?
I see you guys.
You sure? Anyways.
I would say do the entire thing synchro. That way there's no rest. Everybody has to stay on the whole time. Do it that way.
Anyways.
I would say do the Uh-oh.
Go ahead.
Are we there? Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're good. I just I just turned on the YouTube. Oh, you're right. I can't see my screen.
Really?
Huh. What about this one? You guys see that one?
Is anything up on the screen?
Some see it, some don't.
That's
they took the workouts off? Keep going. I just don't see how not having any burpees or having the same number of shuttle runs. You're right. They took the workouts down. Son of a bitch. Okay. They get to see
I just feel that I don't mind the event itself.
Yeah.
As far as being where it is and what it's trying to test to separate the group to get people to qualify for semifinals, I just think it's a weird. I think it's a strange test. It's not that you aren't testing something, and not that you don't need a level of fitness for it or anything like that. But if what are you trying to? Are you trying to push the burpees and everyone's having to do them synchro? Okay, then fine. Don't let anybody have any rest, and everybody has to do the entire thing synchro.
Oh, okay.
Everybody. No one switching in between, no break in between. Like, if this is our group synchro, then group synchro the whole thing. Runs, everything.
Yeah.
Because then you have communication. Then you really are going to have to play to what's going on to your people all the way through.
Yeah, I just think make it simple. Let me know if you guys can see that. Put a bunch of barbells out there. Totally. Self-govern that. Keep the reps and make all the shuttle runs the same number to match it up. So 150 bar facing burpees and 150 shuttle runs. I feel like that's a very simple way, instead of changing the whole thing, of making it just a little bit more exciting and a lot harder.
What's the total number of shuttle runs right now?
2, 3, 5, 10, 14, 18, 23.
That's weird. 4,
yeah.
10.
No.
20.
Yes. Not a lot. That's the answer.
Well, at least, I mean, if you did that, then at least it would make the shuttle runs have a point.
Yeah, and I'm saying
Right now, it just doesn't have a point.
And the shuttle runs just send one person out. So you can strategize your rest. You can send the shuttle runs, which won't make it any easier. But these shuttle runs in pairs, it was just like a break time.
Everybody gets a break.
It had no effect, zero, on the actual workout. I mean, I guess if you dogged it, yes, but like it was all the burpees.
Yeah.
All the burpees. Okay, let's go to event number 3. Now, so what we've had so far in event 1, we had mixed gender pairs with a you go, I go format. In event 2, it was team synchro and same sex pair on the shuttle runs. In event 3, we have same sex pairs with a you go, I go format. So basically, like 2.5 parts of the 3 events we've had so far are just paired work.
Yep.
The team work in event 2 was really just we're all moving at the same time. There was no collective work being done together. And I'm preface it by saying this format is just a you go, I go relay of men pairs and then women pairs.
Yeah.
And the only thing I would suggest here, and this is going to be actually my last change of the weekend, is this is the opportunity where you shouldn't have done, if this is what the event was going to be, bulk work with teamwork.
Yeah.
Make it 50, 40, 30, 20, 10 of a clean and jerk ladder. You have 2 barbells out for the men and women, 50 clean and jerks, 185 and 125. Your whole team is 5 feet behind the line with the lifting bars there in the middle. You total 50. You change your weights together. You go back behind the line and send out to your next person. That simple. In this other format, there's no team strategy here. 0. Even in pairs. The only strategy in here was whether you were the person changing the weights.
Yeah.
That's it. And how many times were you going to take an attempt if you couldn't get the weight? But even then, like, if you weren't going to make it through the ladder, your team doesn't get a time anyways.
It sucks, man. Like every time we've ever seen any sort of a ladder, a speed clean, a snatch, or whatever, thruster ladder, they're always so fun and like exciting. And
so fun.
This, like when you look at it the way it is, it's like, which sucks, man. Like that, you're right. This should be a, it should be a. It should be. It would be better if it's set up as a bulk, because then now there is teamwork to be done. What's the teamwork? Right. I mean, did you practice putting weights on the bar or not? Like so that you can do it quickly. I mean, that's really it. And if you're strong enough, get out of the, or if you're not strong enough, get out of the way so I can get mine in.
Yeah. Or like you get to the round of the 20 clean and jerks at weight 4, and you look at your big dudes like, hey, listen, 275, too rich for my blood. But you were born to do these last reps.
Yeah. So I got all these.
Yeah. Look, we're going to have 3 people. We've got 20 reps between us. And then you're going to sit here and rest for 90 seconds. And then when we load this bar for you, you bang out as many unbroken reps as you can at 275 or what is it for the women at the end? 185. God, those weights are beautiful.
Yeah.
And we just try to finish this as fast as you can. Right? Or whatever. But 50, 40, 30, 20, 10 bulk work together as a team would have been amazing. Instead, we just have no teamwork. in pairs again. That's my only change.
I know. I hear you, man. Dude, I hear you.
I mean, would you do something
different? I like that a lot because, well, are you having all athletes work at one time or one athlete at a time?
So in that 5 foot, right, everybody's behind the starting line, and you can send male or female. That's why both bars are available. But it's just one person working at a time, not men and women side by side.
Yeah.
Just, hey, I'm going to rip out as many 185 power clean and jerks as I can. Hopefully I get to 12 or 15 or whatever.
Nah, that would be way more fun, man. Because
So
then,
much more fun.
I mean, the bar is going to constantly be moving. There's not going to be any set, so you still have the speed of what's going on.
Right.
You actually get to have some strategy because there is 0 in this one.
0.
Current setup.
Yeah.
You're still going to have big weights being thrown around. That would be way more fun.
I think it'd be
way
sick.
More fun.
He's like, hey guys, we're all doing 5s until someone misses. Like, fuck, I did 3. All right, where are we at?
Yeah.
How do we adjust? Right? How do we adjust? And then all 4 can change the bar. All 4 of you. NASCAR pit crew the shit out of that. I'm going to run over there, hold the end of the bar. You slip that on, put that on, clips on, rotate. Everybody has got to go back behind the 5-foot line, and the next person comes out.
And what's crazy is the fact
I would
that
watch those videos all day.
The fact that you only have one person actually working, there's so much going on in that event because of that.
Yeah.
So much. Because you have to get ready if you're the next one coming up. You got to know who's going in. You still have to have all the communication of how everybody's doing, how their capacity is holding up. You have to know exactly how you're going to change the weight so that that happens quick, because that has to happen fast.
Yes.
Everybody has to get behind the lines of that. That would be way more. That would be very exciting to watch, as if it was speed clean ladder at the games.
Yeah.
Right now in this event, for what it's doing, it's just like you're trying to see if someone can lift 275 and 185.
One time.
Yeah. Like
one time.
Boring. This is like, I know that in team events, you have to have some back and forth, and they're always going to be more of an interval type of a setup.
Yeah, for sure. We already have
this one here, like the interval change that you end up having is going to be going fast.
Yeah.
And the weight is that's a good call, dude. I like that one a lot. That would be way fun.
And I
way more exciting.
Dude, yes, I would love to watch this.
Because then the pressure is huge.
Yeah.
On the changing the weights and stuff. Oh, that'd be awesome.
Especially with all of them at the same time, and you get that one where the clip smacks you in the knuckle, and you're like, God damn it!
Yeah, totally.
And I put that here in a bulk work set in this format because I'm not changing really anything from event 1 or 2. I'm just changing elements of the workout, not the way the workout is structured.
Yeah.
All right. So for event 4, and this is why I really had a massive change for event 3. I'm changing nothing for this one. Synchro female pair into synchro male pair. Now this is a relay. This is a relay with pairs. So this is our 4th workout in a row with predominant pair work, except for event 2, which is team synchro. But this was a gnarly test. And pairs synchro like this needs to be tested. I'm not changing anything here.
No, I don't think you need to. I think honestly, I think this should be the anchor of the entire weekend. Like it's the piece. They should have built around. I don't know if they did or not.
Oh, like the cornerstone.
But this event is extremely different than the other events. Yeah. Like they don't seem to all. It's like they had 3 different people put and I'm not saying Boz did this or anything like this, but from when you look at what these events are, it seems like this one is very, and you're right, that you're going to have paired work, and you have to have some paired synchro work, and that's okay. Yeah. The amount that these guys are doing and the way that this program is set up, the capacity that they're setting up, the volume that they're set up for is appropriate to be able to make not just the back end teams, but the high end teams be like, oh, dang. Okay. We need to really think about this one so that we don't implode on the way out. Like you can't just have all easy tests and then be like, well, who goes fastest on the easy test? Can't have that. And
event 1 too easy, event 3 too easy.
Yeah, they don't make sense. You're right. This is great. Personally, I think this is the best one of the weekend.
Oh yeah,
the best 100%. Designed, the best. It's like you're right. There's no reason to have to touch it.
So I was having this conversation with Adrian Conway, and we always have this conversation. Is like we can look at a particular event and be like, the way the collective performs in this test, we think will be indicative of basically like ranking who the best are. Like we did in the last chance qualifier last year for the individuals. We're like, scrap these other 3 BS events. Just do the 4th one. And that 4th one is going to tell you who your best athletes are. And what will happen? 3 of the 4 that got first or second in that were first and second for the overall online qualifier.
Yeah.
I think this is the same one for teams. Now, it doesn't have a massive strength element in here. So it's not quite that cut and dry, but as far as performing as a team with everybody fit enough to be elite, you're right. I think this is that cornerstone event.
But I think that what the elements that are in it is what make you're right. It doesn't have a heavy barbell in it. Doesn't need to. That's not the type of event that it is.
Right.
But all of the other pieces that are involved in there, the skill level of the movements, the weight that they have that's included, the synchro capacity, and it's not just the 40 synchros in the beginning. It's on the back end. Like everybody looks at like, well, the numbers aren't that high. It's only 30 box jumps. Okay. It's only 20 synchro snatches. Okay. But you have all of that doubled on the back end. So now you just blew your grip out going through the 10 rope climbs. And now you have to see, can you hold that pace that you had in the beginning? Did you pace correctly in the beginning to be able to get this back end stuff? And you're right. It's a great setup event. It's designed beautifully. The test is appropriate for what you're trying to achieve, which is getting the right people to semifinals.
Yes.
I mean,
yes, absolutely.
This fits what the goal of the competition is supposed to do. I think that's a great call.
Yeah. And the box jumps and the snatches you're saying is like, those are also 30 and 24 inches and 70 and 50 pounds. So it's not like just a walk in the park.
No, but that's what makes it good, because then they're going to be pushing. So it's like, how close to the red line to where we either fuck up our synchronization, or we get too deep to where we come in on rope climb 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and it's like, oh shit, I do not want to pick up that dumbbell.
Yeah.
But we have to keep moving.
Or your
heart I love it. I like it.
Yeah, this is great. Okay, so that takes us into the 5th and final event, which is the relay style, which in team training or team competition, there should be an individualized aspect of the team competition. Highlight your individuals and race against each other. We saw it at the CrossFit Games in 2015, where they actually did individual events against each other as opposed to just a collective relay. And this event is a great test. I would love to see this event as like a final for semifinals for the individuals.
Yeah.
That would be gnarly.
Yeah.
And so this relay style format with what we've already had, and what this is, the thrusters at 2 different weights at rep schemes just outside your comfort range or confidence range of being able to do it unbroken. Right? You may tip the scales a little too far in that round of 27, and your round of 15 is effed. You may hold on to that pull-up bar longer than you should have, or done, instead of breaking up the last 5 thrusters into 3-2, you decide to nut up and do all 5, and now you can't do a ring dip because of it. I love this programmed workout by itself. We actually programmed this for our Saturday class.
Did you? Nice.
Just this, not in a team format, just by itself.
Yeah.
That's a kick-ass little chipper.
Totally.
Kick-ass little chipper.
And the numbers are right, because it's going to, if you think about, again, who you're trying to qualify, you want to make sure that every person on the team has a level of capacity. So you may have 3 badasses, and then you have your 4th athlete, which is going to end up being, because they told you who had to go, right? Didn't they give female? Your number 2 female is last. So it all comes down to that last female. Are they able to get those 9 muscle ups?
Yeah.
Because you could have everyone crushing it, and if when you miss a muscle up, generally you're stuck on the ground for 45 seconds, at least.
Especially if you fail.
Yeah. So by having this, you are drawing the line in the sand to say, okay, all athletes that go to the semifinals are able to push themselves at a Franish type capacity, and then still be able to come out with 9 unbroken muscle ups, male or female.
Here's your Fran workout.
There's your line right there.
Yeah.
If you have it, you're going to be okay. If you don't have it, you're going to be way down in the pages and you're not going to make it. So I love it too. It's awesome.
Yeah. No
How
problem.
do you have the last two events so good like that and the other ones are like, I don't know.
There. And here's the thing, overarching look at this. For what this event was and trying to do, it did its job. And it's way better than last year. Last year's programming in the teams was terrible. But I've said that, I think, every time I have an opportunity to say that. But what we're doing is we're also making sure that there is a understanding of what a team competition needs to have, how to test them, and little things to make the event better. All right, so we have no change in workouts 4 and 5. In fact, we love workout 4 and 5. And if you look at event 1, right, it was just too easy. It's entirely too easy. It was an 8 to 10 minute workout on average for the top 50 teams in mixed pair rest period, which means you did 4 to 5 minutes of work with 2 60 to 90-second breaks within that.
And you can only go so fast on that. So it's not even like you can empty the tank on it. You're not going to get the Fran feeling out of that. You can only go so fast.
Which, when you program workouts that are too easy for elite athletes, this is when you start to get in the realm of questionable reps.
Yeah. Not because they're cheating,
right?
But it's because if you open the gates to go that fast, it's hard to hold. Oh, let me stand up at the top. I need to open up my hips and extend my knees. I need to make sure my chest is upright. Man, you're racing.
Right. Like, I'm going to do pistols great because I suck at pistols and I have to take a long time to go down and stand up to not fall over. So I stabilize and hold it.
Yep.
But, for like Noah Olson, for example, pistols are so laughably easy. Like, he does pistols faster than I can do air squats. And he's not trying to cheat. He's like, it's only 30. I'm trying to go as fast as I can without screwing this up. And if my judge says you're good to go, what am I supposed to do? In the middle of 20, be like, are you sure? Right? And so when you program an event that's too easy, that's when you start to get into, and I'm not excusing bad reps, but I'm just saying I see why things get a little blurred when you do certain movements.
The test wasn't appropriate.
Yeah.
The test wasn't appropriate.
Our suggestion was bump up all the handstand walks to 4. So that's 100 total feet.
At least.
And then use the same lunge format that you had on the individual side, which is, instead of front squats, you just do 100, you just 4 length of farmer carry lunges instead of and then you keep the front rack lunges. We're not even changing that part.
Like, why didn't they do that?
I don't know.
It's not bad. It's not bad to have similarities between, and I know that, like, before, it was always like, oh, the team is just a rehash of the individual. No, I get that. Doesn't need to be a rehash. However, like, the stimulus of that overhead walking lunge into the handstand push-ups or handstand walks, like that's that right there is a legit twist. Like, don't not use that.
Right.
Like, what the heck?
And he had it right there in the middle.
It's right there.
Right there in the middle. Just take that, spread it out between first part and third part. 4 lengths of farmer carry lunges with 4 lengths of handstand walks, 4 lengths of front rack lunges and 4 handstand walks, and 4 lengths of overhead dumbbell lunges and handstand walks. And you have yourself a fast test that it's still relatively easy for the elite, but one kick in the shorts challenge for the moderate.
Yeah.
And you don't change too much, right? We're not sitting here like, we should change this workout completely. It's like, or event completely. It's like, hey, here's a little twist.
I just think that whenever you put a piece, any movement or action or whatever in an event, like, what's the reason? Like, there has to be a reason. 3 like 75 feet handstand walks and getting plenty of rest to be able to go into it again.
Right. Like, why did you make us run across to walk back?
That
just make us walk.
Like, that all of a sudden that test really doesn't count. I'm not saying that there weren't people that didn't struggle with the handstand. I mean, I looked at the leaderboard. I saw that there were teams that didn't get far in this. I get it.
Yeah, because it was 25 feet unbroken.
But like, okay, there's your one piece. That's your first separator, is that. But once you get past that, eh, like it's not enough. It doesn't count that much. Not for the higher end. And I don't mean just like the top 10. We're talking like the top 100. Like you have to be able to have a test for them. And the test, this first event, it's not an appropriate test.
Yeah. Too easy.
Yep.
All right, event 2, the shuttle runs with the line facing burpees, and then the small amount. It's right, the burpee event.
Burpees.
The twist that we wanted to add was
put a bar in there.
Put a barbell in there, have everybody do synchronized bar facing burpees. And if you want to keep the shuttle runs the same, fine. But we said keep the shuttle runs the same volume as the burpees. Do you want to do team synchro the whole time?
I'd say team, because we don't have any of that. This is the only time where we do a whole team synchro thing. So I say, yeah, line them all
Settle.
up.
15, 20, 25, 30, 25, 20, 15 of synchronized bar facing burpees and synchronized shuttle runs.
Boom.
Done. You take
everybody works.
Yeah, everybody works. You take the guesswork out. It's synchro the whole time. It's a weak link test. It's not shared work. It's not hide and exalt your greatest piece and hide your weakest one. It's full team chink in the armor test, which should be tested in team competition. That's why they do sled work. That's why they do worm work. That's why they should never have the rescue sled as part of a swim event ever again.
But I will say this, and actually this, having the entire group do the shuttle together, this simulates a worm event, because if they were doing worm thrusters and burpees over the worm, everybody's doing synchro the entire time. We don't have anything like that as a qualifier, so this would be your one event. Everybody does the work at the same time together, synchro the whole thing.
I would also be fine with the same volume of both and allowing the team to one-off or pair off shuttles. So then you have some strategic rest periods put in there to see how you can maximize your team's strength and minimize their weakness. But sometimes you just got to test their weaknesses. So
totally. But any worm event, dude, everyone's doing the worm, and then everybody does burpees over the worm. They all lunge it down. They all do burpees.
Yeah. You're good. Yeah, that's true. Okay. So simple twist. Put the bars out there, bar facing burpees, shuttle runs, match the total volume. So you have 150 and 150, and the whole team does synchronized shuttle runs together.
Yep.
Done.
Synchro.
Not a big change, but it's a big change. All right. Event 3. I think we both, bulk work.
Yeah.
So the only thing you
that
change.
would be so fun.
God, this would be great. So an event where, it's just 50, 40, 30, 20, 10 of clean and jerks at the same weights that they have, one person working at a time, interchange your athletes as much as they want. You have both bars out there between your men and your women, so interchange as needed, and just get the work done. When you get through your 50, all 4 athletes can help with changing of the barbell. They all must run back behind the start line and then send the next person out to go to their 40. You do the same thing for 30, the same thing for 20, and the same thing for 10.
Yeah.
And then you have your team bulk tester, which has to be in there.
Yeah, totally.
It has to be in there.
When you have this many events, like you should have one of each. You have the ability to do that. Like, do it. Why you can't not have it?
There's no teamwork in this event.
Yeah, you can't just do pairs on everything.
All right, there's teamwork there's pair work in event 1. There's teamwork in event 2 as far as staying together as a team, not doing work sharing. And then the other 2 are paired events, and one's a relay.
Yep.
You needed a team bulk work, and this was the perfect position, because when we look at event 4, right, we love this event.
Yeah.
Same-sex pairs, synchronized work, females go first, males go second. More pair work in a relay format between pairs. We had you go, I go mixed pair work in event 1. They programmed pair relay work, same sex, in event 3, and this is the same thing in event 4. Right? That's why we didn't like the back-to-back. But we're not changing anything here. Great workout.
No, totally.
Sorry, great event. God darn it. And the 5th one, let's see the sum of your parts compete together in a relay. which should be tested in team competition in a great programmed event. This is that classic, every year there's some type of Fran evolution, and here you go. I mean, you've been saying this since 2007. And so overall, this test is that, when you look at event 1, as we said, same-sex pairs, event 2, teamwork, and then pair work after that. Event 3, pair work. Event 4, pair work again. And then event 5 is a relay. So you have 4 of the 5 events with pair work. Or 3.5 of them with pair work. One of them has half of one has full teamwork. And that's just with burpees. And the last one's a relay. Right? That is not a balanced team formatted competition. And the only twist we had was the whole team works in event 2 with the bar facing burpees and the shuttle runs. And they did bulk team work in event 3. And now everything is balanced. There's not massive changes to the programming. These are just suggestions to make it more of a full formatted team competition.
Well, and we talk about, is the test balance between weights and gymnastics and metcon movements and long, short, and moderate and all volume and all of that. When you were talking about teams, you have to include that as well. And I think for the movements and the other pieces, for the most part, we got the weightlifting in there, we got the gymnastic in there, we got the monostructural in there, we got the pieces.
Yeah, yes.
But it failed on having a as far as the teamwork element. Just because you make pairs doesn't mean that you have a balanced test for the team anymore.
Yes, pair work is not teamwork.
Yeah, so I think they missed it there, which is too bad. That's too bad.
Yeah. And again, little fixes, little changes, little things that have massive impacts on the overall team competition itself. But overall, what was tested, who qualified, and how, and what we've had in the past, I give this one, Element 26 Thumb Tape Review, 1.25. I give it 1.25.
Okay.
When you look at the totality of it, is like you said, you tested everything as far as modalities. From a fitness perspective, you touched all your bases. You missed some elements in the team format range, which weren't hugely off base. That's the other thing. These weren't massive holes, but they were clear holes. And it was a good test. The right people qualified. If you look at the leaderboard, it's like, oh, they're only in there because of that. Like, you're not saying that.
Right.
Like, and the mission accomplished. So I give it 1.25.
I'm gonna go 1.
Okay.
And the reason I go 1 is because the last 2 events are so good that it picks up the issues of the way underprogrammed event 1, the
underprogrammed event 3.
Yeah, I just don't even know if underprogram is the right word. I think that it doesn't test what you're trying to do. I mean, did the right people get through? Yeah. I mean, like, that's always the fallback, and it's easy when you have like Rich's team and all the other teams that are up at the top doing their thing, because of course they're going to get up there with whatever you put up there. But I just think that those 2 tests in event 2, well, 1, 2, and 3, it just didn't test appropriately for what you're trying to get.
Okay.
Were there tests? Yeah. But the thing is that 4 and 5 were so damn good.
Yes.
That it definitely elevated. So I'll go 1 thumb.
Okay.
1 thumb.
Mission accomplished. Mission accomplished with some suggestions on how to make it better. Not that you did a terrible job, and how dare you. Hey, here's some suggestions to make it better. That we're never short of. But all right. So that will do it for the team quarterfinals. Guys, go to games.crossfit.com and see where all those individuals are going. If you look at the semifinal leaderboard and you scroll in the different semifinals, it'll have the athletes populating as they accept their invites, which is really fun to watch.
Watch them bounce around.
I was looking at a couple of those European ones. I was like, who's going where? And like Lowlands Throwdown already has Gabriela Magawa, Laura Horvat, and Sarah Simeon's daughter in it.
Dude.
Yeah. And then I looked over at Oceania, and I knew this was going to happen, but like seeing Tia and Kara's name on the same leaderboard for the first time since 2020.
Yeah.
Really? I mean, I was like, come on now.
Yeah.
Come on now. Well, gang, hey, thanks for hanging with us. Let's see. Do you know where we're going yet? No, we do not. No, we do not. All right. Let us know what you guys thought. You guys can hit us up on Instagram. I promise I won't make an example of you every time you send me something on the show. It was just more of an overarching. That was like the straw that broke my camel's back. We'll just say that. Because we are very responsive. We respond to everything that you guys send us, whether you go to, you can see on the screen at Bill Grumlers for Bill on Instagram, at Chase_Ingram is mine, and at Get With the Programming or Get With _ the Programming is where we are on Instagram. Send us your feedback. Send us your questions. Send us some topics. We have fan service episodes for a reason. If you guys bring something up that's fun, we'll bring it up. If we bring it up that's controversial and we should all have a discussion about it, we will. And every once in a while, you'll make me fly off the rails and and I'll tell horrific college stories again. As I go back and edit the audio version for podcast, just in case my mom listens to the show.
There you go. It's going to be,
right.
So it's one time in college. Beep.
It's one time in college. I called my mom to tell her I love her and she's the best mom in the world. All right. On that note, gang, have a great rest of your day. I'm excited to see where the individuals start filling in for semifinals. And then come, Monday of next week, we'll have the age group floor plans. Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh,
yes, come out on Monday because Thursday they announce them.
Yes. So Monday, the floor plans for the Masters will get released. The workouts will come out on Thursday. Sorry, the events.
Events.
Oh, man, I was trying to think of a topic of what to do later this week if we have time to do another one. Oh, this actually came up from one of my members, Duran, who's moving, and that sucks. Duran's a good dude, but he's moving to one of the Carolinas. I forget. Just like I have a kick-ass member, and then they just have to move for work.
I know. I hate
Those are
that.
the worst, man. He's a good dude. He goes, it's about time CrossFit gets professional judges. And I was like, that would be a great show topic, because we had the show we did on standards, movement standards, right? A professional rule book. Maybe we have a little episode, a constructive feedback or positive solution on maybe this whole judging fiasco that started the show. Mark, Calf's doing well. Thank you for asking. We'll see you in 2 weeks. I went for my first jog the other day.
I saw that.
I was a little sore the next day.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it was like weak or I was like, you probably shouldn't have done that. But I think, I don't know. What do you think about making a plan to maybe how to make judging more professional in the CrossFit space?
Absolutely. I'm all for it.
All right. Maybe we'll do that later this week if we have time. If not, we'll figure it out. Let me, what do you want, Patrick? Let me know. I can bring some of the judges on if you want to. Ooh. Oh, maybe we'll do that.
Yeah.
Some takes.
Oh, before we do that show, we'll call out on social media and just be like, hey, if you're a judge, come talk. We should do that one live.
Oh, we're doing this live for sure.
Dude, that would be a good one.
For sure. I guess, yeah. Hit us up. We'll send you some show links. I'll put your face right here.
Boom.
Or me like this. It'd be like that.
Cool.
If it shows up. All right, gang. We'll let you know if we do that show later this week. If not, it will be coming in the near future for sure. Until then, you guys have a great rest of your week. Good luck watching videos and being tell you what, do me a favor. Because I know Bill doesn't care. Just go out there and be better on social media, please. You can be critical from a much nicer point of view and perspective. You can get your opinion across, because in the end, guys, this is all opinion. This isn't fact. I'm not saying here is like, this is the way it's done. even though I probably said this is the way it's done multiple times. But do me a favor. If you're going to voice your opinion, don't do it from a place of just being a bitter, angry, bitching to bitch human. Just be like, I disagree. Here's a constructive solution on the issue of which is at hand. Just try that for a day, please. Enough of the negativity. Stop watching.
Just know why you're doing it.
To tell me that your hip extension didn't quite hit full on the top of your squat when I slowed the video down to super duper slow-mo zoom.
And why do you care?
Oh, why do you care? Yes. So much positivity on the MCU. True, Patrick, but it's not like MCU posts all positive content to help build up the CrossFit community either. So it can go both ways.
Yep.
It can go both ways. Frame by frame. Frame by effing frame. All right. Speaking of frame by frame, you guys have a great rest of your week. We'll let you know if we decide to do our judges professionalization of the CrossFit space. But Bill, thank you, partner.
Yeah, dude. Have a good week, everybody.